in the chop shop. We in the chop shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop. We live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop. Yeah, it's lit in the chop shop. Turn your dials up in the drop top. They ain't based to debate, but they keep it fact straight. Going 30 for 30, let's do a first take. On Facebook Live from 12 to 2. Rob Hatter and Jim Hicks going back and forth like Carter Ray, Skip Bayless and Stephen Smith. From on the court, off the court, straight to the field. Not a man that steals, but I made it steal. To the octagon where I fight to kill. We go face to face, then you write your will. I don't play tennis, but I bring the racket. I'm on the flow, I attack the basket. Put you in the casket when I'm overlapping. Never showing mercy, cause I'm always snapping. Never showing mercy when I'm in the arena. Step into the ring, you see me as I beat him. Step into the court, I'm never backing down. Killing competition, I'm smacking down. Let me get back to the other stuff at the chop shop, cause they cutting up. It's retro, coming to you live to the chop shop. Now let's turn it up. Yeah, we in the chop shop, man. Shout out to Jim Hicks and Rob Hatter. You can catch the chop shop live from 12 to 2 on Facebook Live. Let's get it. We in the chop shop. We live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop. We live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the chop shop.
H-Town, what's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas, where we're broadcasting all over the world via Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And it's going to be a great, great day of sports. We got a special guest we're going to bring in today. We got some topics about the summer basketball. Jimmy's going to come back with part 4. We're going to come back with part 4 of some solutions about this and how we can help you navigate these waters of summer basketball and grassroots basketball. Even I got some stories. I got some more stories, Jimmy, that this stuff just, the hits never stop. The hits never stop happening, man, in this business. I got it, Jimmy. But first of all, let me start off. I won't start this show off. I got to, because today is the 55th anniversary of the signing of the Voting Rights Act. And we got a picture behind us, Jimmy and I today, with Martin Luther King and LBJ. It's the 50th. It's today. It marks that. If you go back and read the history of those people and their fight to allow us to vote, and that's why I'm so passionate when I hear a young man, or old man, or anybody talking about, man, I ain't voting. I ain't voting. If you knew what these folks had to go through, you would stay out in the rain, in the storm, to be able to exercise your right to vote. People getting sprung on, getting hit in the face on the courthouse steps. C.T. Vivian, just because he just said, man, we gonna wait out here, officer. You don't have to talk to us like that. So look up that Voting Rights Act in 55, the 55th anniversary is today. And our starting 5 for today is Rod Wells, Rick Wilmore, Martin Vaughn, and one more. Hold on, Chris Charles and Darrell Anderson. Those are our top 5 guys today. And Jimmy, guess what we did yesterday, Jimmy? We did not do Dodo's nose yesterday. I cannot believe we didn't. So Jimmy, don't forget, at some point today, we're going to break. And we got to doing our first break. Y'all got Dodo's nose for you. Okay? All right. So Jimmy, what you got going on, man?
I mean, We got so much, and of course, starting next segment, we'll dive right into part 4, and that way you guys don't have to wait till the
You don't have
back
to wait.
nine.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
special guest will be coming on the back nine, and so just queue up. Make sure you alert everybody. We're not going to start that combo at the top, at the back of the hour, at the top of the hour this time. We're going to start it starting next segment. Meanwhile, let's take a lap around the horn and talk about some of the things, of course, happened. Of course, Astros lose yesterday, and
Jimmy, hold up, Jimmy.
and
Jimmy, hold on. I'm sorry. Just let me take this quick break. You gave us this eloquent analogy yesterday. If the Astros score 6 points or more, they're gonna win. Now you can continue.
no, I say they had won. That was the statistics that supported every win. Now, if you watched the game last night, which I did, understand, Astros were up 4-0 in this game, right? In the 4th inning. Here's what happened. The people in Arizona, guess what they did? As the 4th inning, in the 4th inning, they opened the roof of the retractable stadium, which, understand something, the air currency flow, it does matter. It does matter from a pitcher a little bit. Now, however, that's no excuse why you gave up all and run, but it takes you out of your rhythm just slightly. And that is a known fact. That's one of the things why a lot of times in Houston, they don't want to open or close the roof at the beginning of game day because people that did walk through. Now, here's the thing. They were up 4-2. Arizona scores 9 runs in that 1 inning. 9. So at that point, the score now is 9-4. You're down 5 runs, right? Your whole demeanor, it's not even debate. That's a blowout in baseball. If you're up 5 runs, that's in basketball. That's like being down 25 in basketball. If you're up 5 runs in baseball, that's like being down a quarter. Now you can come back from that quarter, but it don't happen every day. Now, here's what the Astros. So that means the whole concept of you thinking that they scored the 6 runs, it wasn't in the flow of the game. That was in garbage time, in straight garbage time when they ended up tacking on.
I was listening to the expert yesterday. I had an expert was telling me that if they score 6 runs or more, they win.
No, I didn't say if. I say they had scored that in every one of their wins.
Okay, so that I was expecting that.
That means if they reach that mark, then they are likely to win. They should win the game. This scenario, guess what? Every statistic ain't 100%. But that's so I still bet on that. Matter of fact, I give everybody right now, I take all bets for the rest of the season. If the Astros score 6 or more, they win in the game.
I'm not a betting man, but I'm finna we gonna get a wage on this one.
And what we can start it right now. If the Astros score 6 or more runs, they're going to win. And watch what happened with that odds. Understand, that's going to come. The pitching, we gave up 9 runs in 1 inning. That ain't gonna cut it, Doc.
That's not gonna change, Jimmy. The pitching is what it is. It's not gonna change.
Scoring 9 runs in 1 inning is the equivalent to a basketball player scoring 30 points.
I've seen the Yankees do it plenty of time. I got a question.
We saw Golden State Warrior do it before.
Hey, do me a favor. Whenever you get through talking about these sad Stros, could you please tell me about what my Dodgers did last night whenever you get a chance? I just want to know what they did last night. Okay.
Your Dodgers.
Yes. I told you. I like them.
What place they in? What place are your Dodgers in? Now?
Probably can't be no further than second. They 9-4.
Who anybody ahead of them?
I don't know.
Did you know that right there? Anybody ahead of them?
Dude, Mookie Betts. That's all I'm talking about. I don't even know nobody else. But Mookie Betts, hold up. And Magic Johnson is a part owner. So you already know that's why I like the Dodgers. Come on, man. Jimmy, I'm consistent. If Magic
Lord.
was not the part owner, I wouldn't be talking about these Dodgers. And do me a favor, go look at y'all ownership over there at the Astros. I'll wait.
You mean the old ownership or the new ownership?
All of them.
This new ownership has more minorities employed in on the field than the previous
I'm talking
ownership
about the
did.
front office, baby.
The front office.
I ain't talking about the. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
talking about the
Wade,
labor.
And those guys are still in the front office.
Hey, guess who else I like again, Jimmy? Minnesota. They won again. So guess what? I like them 2 days in a row.
Guess what? I don't dislike Minnesota. I don't, and only people that like Minnesota is people that's from Minnesota. The Twins, that is.
I ain't from
The
Minnesota.
Vikings are like.
Jimmy, I stayed up there for about 8 months, though. I love that city. Hey, I love that city. That's all I can tell you. That's the best.
And,
Hey,
and the artist formerly known as.
yes, sir.
That's you know,
Jimmy.
it's a bunch of freaking been going on in Minnesota.
Jimmy, I went to
That's what they say
Paisley
about
Park, Jimmy. They had the, wait a minute, you remember they had the All-Star game up there. Oh my goodness.
Indeed. Hey, also on the news yesterday, shifting, of course, and baseball, of course, the Yankees, speaking of, mentioned the Twins, the Dodgers, the Astros, the Yankees, they split a doubleheader yesterday, I think, with the Phillies. And they're still, of course, cruising comfortably in first place at 9-2. And basketball news yesterday around the horn, and I pulled it's up. The marquee game, of course, of the night, but all eyes were on OKC, which pulled out a, cruise to an easy win over the Lakers. And you guys can see the Lakers, as the Bucks had already began to do, when the Bucks lost the other night to the Nets. They've clinched first place, and the wins and losses, they really don't matter to the team and the Lakers as well.
James.
Lakers play the Rockets tonight. The win, it really don't matter to the Lakers.
You mean the loss?
The win or the loss. The loss don't matter. The win is for personal pride.
So
maybe.
just go get your head
sometimes
bust in. It don't matter. Just go get your head bust.
It don't matter whatsoever
Okay.
for the Lakers. It don't
LeBron
matter for the
James.
Bucks. I promise you, it don't matter
LeBron
as a whole
James.
cohesive unit. These are the equivalent. They're in exhibition mode right now. So now, however,
Jimmy,
for the Rockets,
no. When you ramping up for the playoffs, you got to remember they ain't playing. No, they ain't. I'm telling you, them guys ain't in exhibition mode right now. I'm just telling you. They just had a bad night. They couldn't make a shot. They not in exhibition mode.
When I say exhibition
if
mode,
they was in
here's
exhibition
what I
mode,
mean.
they wouldn't have played.
Here's
LeBron
what I mean.
James.
No, that's not true. That's not true. You're trying to find certain things, and you're trying to get your rotation in sync going into the playoffs.
And guess what they found out last night?
So the concept of you winning or losing, that ain't important once you've clinched. That's what I'm saying about exhibition mode. You're really trying to get that dynamic going to see who can go through, because now once every loss matters in these series is that takes place once the playoffs start. And that's what I meant when I said exhibition mode. I mean wholeheartedly. And at the same time, put it like this. I mentioned the Bucks the other day. They lost to the Nets. I forgot to mention it on yesterday. And the Nets were like, the Nets needed that win because they're fighting for that 8th spot. Well, the Bucks had already clinched. Greek Freak didn't play in the second half. That's exhibition mode, Hatter. He didn't touch the court. But people are like, he beat the Bucks. Yeah.
Well, look, they should have beat them so bad in the first half, then they wouldn't have to worry about moving. Hold up. You know what? We glossing all over this, Jim. I got something for you.
It was a close all the way through.
Because I don't want to get off that game because Chris Paul had an interesting. I'll just play it during the break. I'll play it during the break. We got a minute, Jimmy. I'll play it. He had an interesting take. I'm beginning to really. I've always liked him as a person, but I'm beginning to like him a lot more as a person and as a statesman and as the president of the Players Association. Y'all see that during the break. But what else you got, Jimmy, before we come back?
Now, speaking of the Rockets, of course, the Rockets are taking on the Lakers today. And
wait a minute, what's this gonna be tonight? So these guys shouldn't even play tonight. These guys should just play all the bench riders tonight, right?
Who you mean? Who you saying these
the
guys?
Rockets, because the Rockets have made the playoffs too.
No. The Rockets are playing for seed. This win matter for the Rockets.
Rockets
it don't matter for the Lakers.
Seed, Jimmy.
Yes, they.
All seeding, Jimmy. Jimmy, ain't no home court advantage.
Dude, you're playing. It's who you're going to probably play in the first round.
They're gonna have to play them anyway. Don't matter. Hey, Jim. To win, they're gonna have to beat the best anyway.
I put it like this: watch the minutes per game. Watch the minutes played after the night's box score. Everybody, watch the minutes, and then you go watch LeBron's minutes.
What we need to watch on the minutes? Don't just say watch the minutes. Because I don't want you to be weaseling out of it tomorrow, like you did this morning with the Astros.
Watch Russell Westbrook. James Harden will play more minutes than LeBron James and Anthony Davis tonight. You watch that. I would not be surprised if one of those guys don't even play tonight. LeBron or Anthony Davis would not. I guarantee you that James Harden and Westbrook is going to touch the court and be in the starting lineup tonight.
James Harden going to play if it's an exhibition game, Jimmy. You ain't saying nothing.
I say James Harden and Russell Westbrook. I said both of them. Watch the minutes. This game is meaningful to the Rockets. It's no longer meaningful to the Lakers. It's not. And guess what? It's unfortunate, but they cruising on. They've clinched. Right now, they're trying to find out whom they can rely on the most between J.R. Smith and what's the other cat name? The kid that was in Miami. Who I'm talking about? Dion Waiters and Caruso. They're trying to get that in sync on both ends of the court. So be pay attention. Now, speaking of the Rockets, how about this? They're in historic proportions right now. The Houston Rockets have made at least 19 three-pointers each of the past 3 games. Guys, that's tied for the longest streak in NBA history. 19 threes in 3 games, 3 consecutive NBA games. So at the same time, they've been out-rebounded 22 by an average of 22 rebounds in each of those past 3 games. They're 2-1 in those contests. And going into the night, those type of things can help establish a reliable trend for this Houston Rocket team. Everybody knows they're
So the Rockets, hold up. So the Lakers are going to lay down, right? That's what you're saying. The Lakers going to lay down.
That's
what you're saying.
I did not say they're going to lay down, Haller. I say the game is meaningless for the scope of the team. The direction of the team is meaningless. The win or the loss is meaningless. It has no bearing on their fate. Their fate is sealed as a number 1 seed.
Unlike you, Jimmy. I know these guys don't never like to lose.
Haller, you understand this. I remember this a long time ago speaking with John Lucas. How front office curbs games. They don't tell you to throw a game. They convince you not to play a certain player so many minutes. That gives understand. This comes from a head coach in the NBA. This is how they do it.
Oh, excuse me, Jimmy. He ain't there. That's just his damn opinion. He ain't the only damn person in the NBA.
He's on the staff with the Rockets.
But he's not the only person in the NBA. His word is not. He not. Who you think? No. John Lucas does not have the only word in the NBA.
Don't have the only word. He's telling you in a situation on how he has explained on how games are sometimes thrown. They throw games
I'm sitting
by
here-
telling you not to play certain players
Jim,
or convincing certain players
no,
of
no.
load management.
I
They call it
sit
now.
here.
Call it that.
I sit here and watch you paint a picture that the Lakers it don't mean nothing to them. Then the same picture you talking about what the Rockets need so bad. So the Rockets don't.
The game means the game. This game has more meaning to the Rockets. And guess what? You know, I mean, obviously you refuse to understand that, and that's you.
So if
refuse to
the
understand.
Rockets lose, so what? They got 3 more games. Wait a minute. They playing 8 games in the bubble. Look at if they lose, so what?
They don't have no 8 games left.
They had 8 games to play in the damn bubble. Listen, they had 8 games to play in the bubble. 8 games. So he got a few more left. So guess what? This is not the only game. But you sitting here saying the Lakers gonna lay that. So if the Lakers messed around and beat the Rockets, you're gonna come back on this show tomorrow. I can't believe the Lakers had nothing to win, and the Rockets let them win. Dude, come on, man. Come on, man. Dude, I know you. That's exactly what you was going to do.
Unbelievable. But you,
Very
I mean,
unbelievable.
understand what you're just saying. What you understand. Just understand and say it. You are refusing to understand that. That's okay for you refusing to understand it. Then guess what happened over the weekend? Somebody else has said that you respect a whole lot more, and you'll grow to believe it. It ain't no problem with that. I'm just telling you, there are people out there that's watching right now that respect what I'm saying. They're subscribing to the thought and understanding that. And that's who I'm talking to. That's who I'm trying to relate to. That's like talking to a Trump supporter. I'm not trying to convince your ass to believe what I'm saying. That's on you. I'm trying to convince that ones that really just confused or don't understand.
And guess
or,
what?
Or willing to embrace it.
I ain't trying to convince nobody. I ain't trying to. That's the problem. You trying to convince. I'm just giving facts. You're trying to convince. So when people trying to convince somebody, they don't have that many facts. They got to do a little curbing the truth. But we're going to take a break. Because guess what?
Sure enough, as I just said, and you look on the doggone thing, the announcements come out because they have to make them by around 1 p.m. Eastern time. And LeBron ain't going to play tonight. I just said it. I would not be surprised.
I did, Jimmy. That is not what I said. You sitting up here saying the Lakers gonna lay down.
Said it.
You said, hold up. You said the Lakers are gonna lay down. But Rockets, this game is so important to the Rockets. Oh, the Rockets just got the Rockets, the Rockets. Just go and quit telling the lie. You can't stand the Rockets having any kind of success because of James Harden plays on the team. I'd rather just whenever you make a comment, need to. Oh my God! Yes, you know.
Alan, that's not how that goes. I don't dislike James Harden. Are you serious? Somehow that's how people subscribe to that theory. When it comes to your kids out there, when it comes to rankings, that same thought.
You just said it yesterday.
I don't view him in the eyes of you. Then you think that I hate him.
Hold up.
Hate him.
Okay, this is what I'm gonna do on Monday. I'm gonna go pull out that clip and play it for a commercial. Exactly what you said about it.
I said I'm not a supporter.
That is not what you said.
A believer. That's what I said. Don't hate him. I don't believe in what he can do with this team during the postseason.
No way, Jose. No.
Never. You will never find a clip of me saying,
I got it, baby. I got it. It happened this week. I got it. I got you.
Ever. I don't even talk like that about grown men.
Hey, are you finished? Can we go to a break? We 6 minutes over the break.
I hate him. Come on, stop that. I don't even talk like that. I don't subscribe to
I don't care for. Remember I told you that to all of you. You said I don't care for him. That's exactly what you said. I remember that.
And what happened, guys? I want y'all to remind Hatter on Monday, where's that clip at when he forgets to produce it?
I'm going to have the clip, baby. I got it.
For that.
Hey, I'm looking for it right now. Chop Shop, we'll be back in a minute.
You know, it's nice because a lot of times during the season, it's just the good luck on your next game and you're moving and going. But you're getting to build a few more relationships in here with guys, and it's usually not like that for us, so it's been nice.
The only other time we see something like this is usually during an Olympics, and out of the past couple Team USAs, we have found friendships lead to super teams.
Yeah, you know, I think it's funny that that's what everybody's concerned with. You know, we're more concerned about spreading our message in here and trying to gain more knowledge, trying to educate each other. You know what I mean? It ain't about super teams or whatnot. It's about continuing to educate each other and make sure that we push forward, make sure that more African Americans are in these front offices, in these GMs positions and stuff like that. So that's what it is.
Come on, dog, get one shot, bro.
I ain't doing nothing. I'm just chilling. What you doing?
Come on, dog. Dude's a bot, bro. He ain't even like that. Dog, come on, man.
Hey, you're in the shower? Without me? That's crazy.
Close up. Oh, back up, bitch. Hey, bro, Brian. Hey, Brian, check your six. Check your six.
What? Girl, you know I miss you too, man. Stop playing.
Dang, I can't believe the mama messed me up like that, bro. Shoot.
Hey, yeah, you seen I had 30 today?
You know I was thinking about you in the game today. Bro, you said what about my mama, dog? What? They trading me for cash considerations? Bucket. Bucket. Bro, I could have had 30 tonight, dog, if they weren't fouling me, bro.
You said you got one on? Hold on, FaceTime me real quick. FaceTime me.
Hey, man, when y'all trying to play 2K, bro? Oh, cash.
Shit, tripping, bro. I might get my own jump right, dog. NBA gotta do better, bro. No, man, I know we're a much better team with him playing, but I'm kind of glad Kyrie ain't come, dog, because I'm getting my shots. Oh! God dang, I don't got no reception in this hotel, dog. God.
Pat Bet, you not guarding me like that, dog. You not like that, bro. I'm good. I'm good.
Dog.
God.
Hey, yo, Book, I seen y'all beat the Clippers the other day, so give me the rundown, dog. We got them tomorrow, dog. Let me know. Give me some. Give me some. For real.
Oh, Charlie. What's up, Chicken Wing Lou? Lemon Pepper Lou. I'm good, bro. I'm straight.
Man, hey, dog, man, these cheap-ass Clippers they gave us, dude. Come on, bro. What's up with that?
Hey, I got a baby on me, dog. Come on, bro. Hey, come on, dog. You really gonna switch? You oh. I can't wait to play that. I'm about to kill him. Bro, you really gonna say Friends is better than The Office, dog? Come on, bro. What? Nah, I just really said that because.
Welcome back to the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Haller, alongside Jim Hicks. I hope you enjoyed that. That was a parody on how the guys in the bubble and what they're doing. If you didn't realize it, it was just a spoof of the guys just talking about what the guys are doing in the bubble. And what's so unique about the bubble, I saw Gilbert Arenas was talking about how these guys just acting like prima donnas in the bubble. And they was asking him about, female company. The guys are missing female company. And, because he said 80, he said some key. I don't know if it's true, but Gilbert Arenas said 85% of the guys in the NBA are single. So, and they're and they're used to doing stuff and accustomed to doing stuff a lot different than it is in the bubble. And then I found out another thing that Jimmy, it's over 1,200 items each day. 1,200 items each day are being shipped in to the players every day into the bubble. And y'all, guess what is the most shipped commodity is? Wine. They said more wine is being shipped into the bubble than anything. I guess Disney I guess they don't want to play them prices that Disney's charging them for room service on the bottles of wine. But Jimmy, let's go to part 4 of our talk about. I mean, what's it? It's some stuff that's been happening in summer basketball and summer basketball, grassroots basketball, and certain things are parents are coming a year later, 2 years later, and talking about certain things that had happened to them in this community, and all we trying to do is all I'm trying to do, because Jimmy, you got a different purpose than I in this. I'm just trying to shed light on it because I was a parent, had a kid in summer basketball, and I'm just trying to make it better for the parents. Jimmy is an event operator, and he also is a scouting service, and some shenanigans behind the scenes had affected his company. It affected his brand. So he's gonna always come from a different position than me. Always remember, I'm coming from a different position. We're two different men, got two different professions, but it's good to have different perspectives on certain things. So, Jimmy, where you want to start with this? Because I had some stuff I just found out yesterday that's kind of crazy in summer basketball, and maybe it's normal to y'all, but it was crazy to me. But Jimmy, what you got?
But we dive into that, but I want you to go ahead on. You can feel free to insert whatever you found and what you found out, what you about to say. That way we can get.
All right, y'all imagine this. Imagine this. Imagine this, and I'll be the culprit, okay? I'm a summer coach, and I called Tiffany Saunders. Tiffany, I'm finna pick on you right now. Since I'm finna pick on you. I called Tiffany. Tiffany got a pretty good player. Pretty good son is a pretty good player. I mean, no, Tiffany, your son is real good. Real good. So I'm calling you, Tiffany. I don't even know you, Tiffany. Okay? Tiffany, I don't know you. I ain't never heard it. I got your number from somebody, and I call you. Tiffany, hi, how you doing? We're having it's a tournament here in the city this weekend, and could you come and have your son play for me this weekend? Tiffany, you got to hear me, Tiffany. I don't know you. You don't know me. He's a pretty good player. Guess what? A lot of people on my team know him. Your son, hold up, Tiffany. And guess what, Tiffany? You can't imagine how many college coaches I got in my phone. Tiffany, gosh, Tiffany, I got Vanderbilt's coach. I got so-and-so. I got this coach. I got this coach. Coach. You're telling me all of that, right? Tiffany, I'm just giving you the spiel. A MITE program, we just put a certain many people in college and all that, right? And then, Tiffany, you politely said, look here, man. My baby is going to have his wisdom tooth pulled out on Saturday. Okay? He going to the dentist. Get his. And Tiffany, guess what I come back and tell you? Well, what time is the appointment? Because we'll move our games around for him to play. Let me repeat that, Tiffany. I don't know you. I ain't never met you. And guess what, Tiffany? You don't even have to take him from the dentist. I'll come pick him up. I don't know you. You don't know me. Hey, let me tell y'all something. That's the nerve of these people. Some of these people, not all of them, in this summer basketball sector. Not one time, Mindy, had he crossed his mind the kid might be still under sedation and still sore. Not one time did that cross his mind. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And guess what else a mama told me who watched our show yesterday? Guess what she told me? Robert, you can tell these parents the truth all you want to. They still gonna do the same dang thing. You're wasting your time. I said, unbelievable. She told me yesterday, Jeremy Johnson, you're wasting your time. because these parents, to get their kids to where they think they need, they would cut every corner in the world to get it done, no matter what you say. I said, but it's unbelievable, unbelievable. So, Jimmy, I promise you, if somebody tell me they doing something, the boy going somewhere with his family, something, I thought it was just common. And what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, the insensitivity of this stuff, man. It's just so insensitive. And maybe y'all feel the same way. Maybe some of y'all out there feel the way. But me, I just can't fathom it. Now I understand. Every day, Jimmy said something a couple of days ago that I just couldn't even believe. He said, man, this summer basketball is like crack. It's like blue magic. If you don't know what blue magic is, go watch American Gangster. I ain't got time to run it down to you. He said these folks has got to have this summer basketball. It's a summer basketball event going on every weekend within a pandemic. And you tell me you're not hooked? So, I mean, that's Jimmy. That's why I came. I mean, this might not have nothing to do with you and what you about to talk about, but I'm just talking about the insensitivity of the people in this grassroots community. It's unbelievable. I wish you had called my son talking about that shit. I'd have gave you something. I'd have gave you something. But what else you got, Jimmy?
I mean, solutions like in that scenario. Because once again, today is Baby Friday, and for the Chop Shop, and we vowed to implement possible solutions for every single topic that we present to you guys. Here's one for that situation, parents. You have to. I'm strongly encouraging you to strive towards allowing your no to mean no. If your no means no, trust me, as a man, we know that certain no means back the hell back or raise the hell off. There are sometimes your no, the way you guys say it could be interpreted as maybe so.
Okay.
You know, I mean, seriously, you might say, no, I don't get it. Well, but that ain't a no. Sometimes you might have to put the word hell in front of that no.
Okay.
Make that no interpreted and understood or received a little bit better. That's one. Remember, this is not the solution. This a solution that you can possibly implement when it comes to your kids. And once again, one of our common objectives on this show is to help you guys, the parents, the relatives, to help empower you with the understanding and knowledge to be able to navigate to success, have more success in navigating through the muddy waters of youth sports. And a lot of things, this stuff apply. It's not just a basketball thing. This same concept can apply to baseball, volleyball, track and field, 7-on-7, whatever you may be in. Allow your no to start meaning no. Now, here's some other questions that people have presented and sent to our mailbag. And this comes with the rankings component. This is another question about rankings. If someone tells me, I'm reading the question, that if I pay them $1,000, they will get my son on a shoe team and rank us, should we believe them? Somebody actually, this is a serious question. Once again, if someone tells me that if I pay them $1,000, they will get my son on a sneaker team and rank him, should we believe them?
Wait a minute, Jimmy. I can get you on a sneaker team and get me ranked. Rank where? That's just rank. They ain't said rank
I
where. Right?
didn't say I didn't respond to the question and ask him to
But Jimmy,
clarify.
I got a question. Let me tell you something. That's a value. Let me show you why. I told you the story. My son, we wasn't, he wasn't on a sneaker team, but he wanted to play on the sneaker team. But he was so immature. He wanted to play for the wrong damn reasons. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna tell you, he wanted to play because he wanted the EYBL sneakers. Because he said, Daddy, you can buy me all them sneakers. I got all the sneakers, but you got to play in EYBL to get them. But he didn't realize I could get them too. But guess what? He wanted to play so bad. Jimmy, all I did is made a call and they gave him a tryout. But if somebody had asked me, said, and maybe, I'm just telling you, well, Mr. Hatter, you might have to do this. I would have entertained it because it was my kid. Because my kid wanted to play on a sneaker team. So playing on a sneaker team, but he was good enough to play. See, and Jimmy, that's the fine line that you said. If the kid is good enough to play on the team, then yes. But if I knew he wasn't good enough to play, I wouldn't. That's why I said just give him a tryout. I promise you, parents. Kristen Begg them know it. I said just give him a trial, give him a chance, and then y'all see if y'all liked him. First day of practice, soon as he left there, they gave him his gear. One practice. They didn't practice but one time the whole damn year, that time. So, Jimmy, my thing is, if your son is good enough, to make that team, if it's a value to the parent, hey, parent, you might have to entertain that.
Well, the question is, should he believe if a person approached him with that proposition?
Well, I wouldn't give the money until he's on the team. I wouldn't give the money until he's ranked. Hey, in other professions, you got to pay before you get. Hey, Jimmy, I would not give him a quarter until I get me some product. You got to get the product first. If he got me on the team and I'm ranked, then he did what he said he was going to do. I mean, I'm just putting it out there now.
I mean, that's now my answer is, should you believe them? Man, I'm just going to put it like this. Those scenarios have transpired. There are people who paid for their sons to be on shoe teams. Mm-hmm. A bunch of people who have paid for their sons to be on sneaker teams. So if we've already established, and I've seen the evidential proof that people have paid for rankings, and on yesterday, let's get this right, in case you missed it, I actually confessed to taking $800 back about 12 years ago to rank a kid. Only time I've ever done it. Got in, got on out. And I gave you guys, if you watched yesterday's show, to get that testimony on that. So I can speak on it. I know how they come.
So it can happen.
If they say they can do that, depending on the person, yes, you can believe them. But that's how to just say it. I wouldn't give them that bread. I'd maybe give them a little bump up front, give them another bump in the middle, and then give them another bump once it's done. At the end.
Guess what we call it? Give them a deposit. Tell them, I give you the deposit so you can go to work. I give you a deposit.
And then that way, yeah. So that's. I mean, guys, I understand all of your questions. That's why we love it so much when you toss these questions to us, because we have. And once again, a lot of people, this stuff is embarrassing. So that's why we are not saying names.
That's right.
They don't want that. I mean, and I understand it is.
And y'all so harsh. Y'all so harsh. Y'all mess with them people. We can't give y'all nobody's name because y'all a little harsh. I can imagine how y'all to us. I can imagine what you do to them families out there. And let me tell you something, Jimmy. I was a parent And I just told you, I understand. Y'all got to hear me. I did not want my son to play for the Houston Hoops. I'm going to repeat that. I made it a point. That's why I helped start the franchise All-Star, because I wanted to have a high-level team that compete with the guys like the Houston Hoops. We guess what? If the Hoop gave them some tennis shoes, we gave them tennis shoes. Only thing the Hoops had on us is the EYBL. And guess what? It wasn't even that year, it wasn't even around. It happened the next year, I think, or the year before, something like that. So, Jimmy, all I'm saying is, if those parents, if it's of value to you, it's gonna be a market for it. That's why I tell you, if it's no demand, then these guys don't have nothing to supply. Even Jimmy told you that temptation back then. But Jimmy, did you explain why you said you didn't want to go down that rabbit hole again? Why? Did you explain why? You say you did it one time. Why you didn't continue it?
Yeah, well, because once you do that, once you do that, and you take money for in exchange for ranking a player, for example, although it's just you and that person, that word will get out. I can guarantee you, that person is going to show clout towards another colleague, or make them think that they can get there. They have the capacity. They got the plug. So that means if you take it one time, people are going to come back, or somebody else that want it to happen to their son. Or people already suspect, the vast majority, which I've grown to learn. I'm talking to all these parents since the weekend. A lot of people are already under the impression that is just how it goes. And I'm like, no, it can go like that, but that ain't the norm. Everybody can't buy their way into NBPA Top 100 camp. Everybody can't buy their way into in the USA trials or the USA team. Everybody can't buy it. Now, is it possible? Everything is possible. It's corrupt politicians everywhere. But that's not the norm. The norm is lobbying, and you putting your in politics, you're lobbying, or you're a company and you donate to a certain campaign. And then in return, if you donate enough, then you'll have enough voice to get whatever you're trying on your agenda approved or passed. That's politics. If you simplify that fraction to common folk like us on ground zero, it's similar. If you have a business out there, don't you think for a minute, Jermatize, if this young man, he has no more high school eligibility left. Let's say he could not bounce a basketball at all, which he won a state championship and was all state TAPS in the state of Texas. The guy who invented this Jermatize. He was a 12th grader with a 4.0 GPA. Let's say he couldn't play that good and wasn't an all-state player, that didn't and wasn't a 4.0 student. After doing this and advertising on the Chop Shop, if he couldn't play, his ass to be number 99 at least. That's politics.
That's right.
He did not buy a rank. He's advertising his business.
Yep.
You see?
It's a big difference. It's a big difference.
Business.
It's a big difference.
So that's how the concept you guys can understand.
But Jimmy, that's how life works. See, some people. That's how life works.
Exactly. So guys, and this is the part people understand. Say, well, man, he just advertised on the site. And know what's so dang good about it? He waited until after he was enrolling in college to advertise on the show. Remember that. We had him on the show back in April.
But Jimmy's still an amateur athlete though, so it don't make no difference.
No. He's still amateur.
But he's not. Guess who?
Drew Parker was too, and Drew Parker confessed on the Chop Shop on Monday. Andrew Parker Jr. He was a student athlete, and he said he didn't give a care. That's for them other. He started his clothing business, which he Strive.
But
He has
Jimmy, I don't think the rule is using your basketball prowess to make money.
But
he can go into business.
No, Hal. He's not a scholarship student athlete. He can do whatever the hell he wants with German.
Jimmy, so you telling me, Jimmy, since you know
he's
the
a
rules,
walk-on.
I'm just asking you a question. Forget not him. So you telling me my son is a scholarship athlete, and he come up with an invention at my house, and he can't capitalize on his invention that has nothing to do with sports?
If he signed a letter of intent in that paperwork, it prohibits him for doing so. Now,
no.
he signed
What does the rule say? You know what the rules say?
I don't have the document in front of me to quote it verbatim. But in that
Somebody
letter
pull
of
that rule up for me.
In that letter of intent, you are foregoing. That, remember, it went through this stuff with several.
I just want to know what the rule states, Jimmy. If I come up with an invention, I can't.
If you sign, that's why the thing was so important when we had. I
thought it was I couldn't use my likeness, Jimmy, or my image.
You can't go and go. Remember back when UNLV was doing the Running Rebels when Jerry Tarkanian had to.
He had a T-shirt company that was. He had a T-shirt company that was using basketball on it.
And remember that came into play about him and his business. That was great. That was not Anderson Hunt, but
Greg Anthony. It didn't happen to him.
And we had Greg Anthony on the Chop Shop last year, and he brought that topic up briefly.
I want to hear that rule. I want to see that rule.
Yes, that's why people say so many people are advocates against
Jim,
signing the letter of intent.
I think it's you can't not use like the only problem with the young man with the YouTube video. They say you can use your YouTube video, but you cannot use you kicking and kicking. You're a kicker for us. Your popularity came with your kicking and you using and you kick for us at the school. So I just want to read the rule. I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to find out the rule. If I come up, it's not a matter of nobody being right or not. You being right or not. I'm just saying. So if I come up with an invention, okay, I can't capitalize on my invention at all just because I'm playing college basketball.
No, not because you're playing college basketball.
I signed a letter of intent.
Because you signed a letter of intent. Now you can go and pay your own way. And that's what Greg Anthony said on the show. He said on the Chop Shop last year, Heather, he said he paid his own damn way on that last year. When they messed with him, he said he had to make a decision. Either fold his tent on this company or pay your own way. Hell, back then, we already know they had enough boosters going on with the UNLV. Greg, that wasn't no issue. So technically, yeah, he paid his own way. But
hold up, Shannon. Hold up, I got somebody who might know. You can't have a business, okay? So what did I ask y'all? I said, give me the rules. That's all I asked for, the rules. They say you can't have a business. We know we're not allowed to have a job. No. You have to transfer your interest or pay your own way, like you said. So you can transfer the interest to your mama's name. You can transfer the interest to somebody else. I'm just saying, I know it's a way to get it done.
Remember when Leonard Fournette was at LSU?
I remember.
His dad name is Leonard Fournette Sr. They had the T-shirts with a silhouette, kind of like my logo on RCS Sports. It was a silhouette of Leonard Fournette, but it was a purple and gold shirt.
Yes,
purple and gold also is the color. They're the colors of several high schools in Louisiana. They made them cease and desist that operation of selling the T-shirts with Fournette on the back. It didn't have LSU on it. Yeah. It was just purple and gold with the silhouette and his jersey number.
It was his likeness, Jimmy. The image and likeness. That's what That's what's
But
going on.
understand, that was his daddy. It didn't say, you know what I'm saying? His daddy. It didn't say LSU.
But think about this young kid right here. He ain't Mitch on German ties, because that's how we started the question. German ties ain't got nothing to do with basketball. It ain't got nothing to do with no sports. And guess what? And it's, hold on, and it's helping the health of people. And this kid got to tap dance around. And I know his dad and mom smart enough to have, but if he's not on a scholarship or sign a letter of intent, then they can't do nothing to him. This just only to the guys who signed the letter of intent. That's why these kids all over America right now, these kids all over America are banding together to put a stop to this mess. Because that is almost asinine that your son happened to be a good basketball player and a good basketball player, but he happened to have a brilliant mind and invent an app. He might have invented the Uber app, and he can't capitalize on it because he done signed a damn letter to play for a coach that's making $4 million a year. That's the stupidest mess in the world. And I am so glad they're getting it done. So we got a commercial we got to go. We got to stop. Jimmy, I'll go here, and we'll be back in a minute. We got a special guest coming up shortly. Hold on.
But being friendly and being a friend, I think, are two different things.
What's up, everybody? This is Dorian Branch with Dodo Knows. I have to start my segment off by saying I am that LeBron fan, and I really don't care what y'all have to say about it because I am that LeBron fan. I will be repping. The number one seed has been clinched. They said he couldn't do it outside of the East. He in the West now. You see what happened. I don't care about the negative comments. But diving straight into WNBA news, the WNBA players are continuing their protests, which, to even get started with that, the Atlanta Dream, which is the WNBA team based out of Atlanta, who has one of the hottest top young stars in the league in Kennedy Carter, has a racist general manager, owner for the WNBA team, who's also a Republican senator in Georgia. So that alone should just tell you wrong. But she has openly said that the Black Lives Matter movement is a disgrace and that it is threatening to the United States of America. Okay, y'all? Threatening. But
hold up, though. Hold up. We'll go to. Welcome back to the Chop Shop. She had a little bit more to go, and I was just a little quick on the trigger. But Jimmy, we got a couple of more questions. Let's get those questions out the way. Jimmy, and I'm gonna take a quick break because somebody's at my door. Oh no, I don't have to. Okay, they left me alone.
So now, of course, with questions that was in the mailbag. The mailbag, of course, you guys feel free. You may send us your questions you may want us to present. We will keep you anonymous if you simply just request to remain anonymous in the email. Our email address is chopshophtx@gmail.com. chopshophtx@gmail.com. And now the next question comes and from another anonymous person. It says about sponsored programs, right? And it says, can you clarify what sponsored means? And I'm going to assume that that they're asking the question about the whole concept of grassroots, because there's sneaker sponsorship. Generally, an organization that's sponsored by an organization that's sponsored by a sneaker program, going from the top of the line down. They will get a product budget and they will get financial assistance, which is designated and earmarked for that program to travel to the invited events that for their top team. Now, that money, the money normally in the budget, normally is primarily for that 17U team, but there have been budgets that's been inflated to whereas some teams can take care of 2, maybe 3 programs with their expenses. You see? So that's not out of the ordinary to probably hear one program where they may have a 15U that don't have to pay for anything. And then there may be some 15Us that's sponsored under a sneaker program that may have to chip in with minimal with dues. That's not out of the ordinary. Now there are other sponsorships that will come in the form, because that word is being used is very loosely now, because technically sponsorship, it can come in the form of product only. Well, what happens is then people that get the product, they will go and take pictures of the UPS man delivering all the boxes and go and use that product as candy. And they become the candy man when they will go to frequent the events, and you will see them bringing the shoe boxes to the actual events to make us to grandstand. Mind you, they could have gave those kids those same shoe boxes at practice the other day. They could have gave it to them, could have went and met you on the side of the freeway. Some guys would prefer to bring it in the gym, because the optics it present to that one player or that one program that's not able to physically do that on a regular, it'll make them put them in their place. In other words, that's the design of that. So for some people,
I got a question. Is that a design? Quick question. Is that a design from the sneaker company or just the grassroots guys?
The grassroots guys.
Okay.
Guys.
I got you.
They don't tell you to go and do it, but they know it's just good optics, and it works. It works in a lot of times. It really does.
Okay.
Because now, if you're looking and you're seeing, they open those boxes, and those are the new exclusive Peach Jams, KDs, or you know what I'm saying, or Peach Jam Kobe's.
It's from my son.
Guess what you're gonna do? Your son gonna say, "Man, this cool over here, man."
I just told you that, Jimmy. They sprung the Robert.
Yeah, exactly. So this stuff happens, guys. So yes, now another type of sponsorship that's prevalent, but it just don't get the same respect. And that's in every major city. There's a program that has a financial sponsor that's not related to a sneaker company.
Why that don't get no respect?
It doesn't get the same respect because those kids.
So that's why I didn't get no respect. So Jimmy, that's why. So that's why I didn't get no respect.
You're not getting the same level of respect on the long run from the peers because those kids not seeing that, they don't see that money. That money don't go in their pockets. That money just takes care of their hotels and their planes or their bus van trips and their foods. They're not seeing it.
I gave sneakers too, Jimmy.
Well, and for those who go and buy the sneakers and get the sneakers, it still doesn't have the long-term effect, right? It's not likely to.
Jimmy, I see why I quit then. I see why I stopped then. Because I sponsored a team. Totally sponsored a team. And I just realized that when you said it there, that type of sponsorship don't get the same respect as of Nike. So if I'd have got Nike, if I'd have been part of Nike and sponsored that team, then it would have been better. That's what you're saying.
No, not necessarily, but it just on the long term. Not saying that every team that does that didn't get. Remember, for example,
I understand that.
Back in the days, there was a team in Houston Houston Select, that was operated by David Salinas. And one day, guys, a lot of people now have no idea who David Salinas was. But we're getting that. You can Google him, and, hell of a story. Well, David Salinas had a program he funded, albeit it wasn't really his money. That's, I say, it's another whole story that's intriguing that they make, probably make a hell of a movie about one day. And those kids, David Salinas he had to buy uniforms, so he bought the uniforms from the Adidas rep. So therefore, eventually, they were suited and booted with Adidas. So the optics they were an Adidas program. You see the optics? Because he could afford, those kids flew everywhere. Remember, it wasn't his money. I said it again. But and they traveled and they played, and he had Division I star players in abundance, and it lasted for a decade. A whole decade it lasted with this program before he ended up shooting himself in the head, killing himself after the walls closed in on his Ponzi scheme. But back to this scenario, those kids eventually, what Salinas had to do, he had to go and work a deal to get into the Adidas. They didn't have gold, silver, bronze back then. He worked a deal to get in, at least get into the room and get in some of their events. That way, otherwise, because he was starting to lose players, because those kids wanted to play against, have the opportunity to play against 5 stars, want to play against 5 stars. Top guys want to play against top guys. Well, that's how it used to be. So that's the thing. Good question. I got another question for y'all. You say, so how do you have a sponsored program, then tell the 17U team is only for hotel, not flights, and charge a monthly fee?
Say it again.
I'm just reading the question as it was written.
Okay, I know it.
But they say basically, how do you have a sponsored program and you tell the 17U team that's supposed to be sponsored that their sponsorship is only for hotels and not flights, and you end up charging a monthly fee? Well, guess what? That means that sponsorship that you thought was a full sponsorship was not. So the solution is, that's why it's time for the solutions. Parents, ask the coach to itemize and detail you what exactly is being sponsored. This is important. It can save you headaches, because people will use that term loosely. We got a sponsor, because guess what? Sometimes they might well could have had a committed sponsor, and sponsorships fall out. Hell, they withdraw. Hell, Under Armour UCLA had an Under Armour sponsorship, and look what Under Armour just did to them. That was $200 and something million. They just pulled out. The LA Raiders, the new team in the new football, I'm gonna say new team, the new city they moved to in Vegas, the Vegas Raiders, they had a water sponsorship from one of the local wateries. That water company of the 10-year, $30 million deal, they just pulled out yesterday. So ask them to specify the sponsorships. And you guys will notice there are so many people that involved in grassroots basketball that really don't want to, they are reluctant to open up their books. Now, but they're claiming to have a nonprofit, but they won't open up their books.
Well, they have to open up their books to the government. They don't have to open them up to you.
But understand.
You got a president that won't show you his taxes right now.
Well, that's a whole different scenario, a whole different topic. But if you got a nonprofit, you don't have to necessarily open your books up. And I didn't mean it per se, but you guys know what I meant. It meant like they are so secretive and and reluctant to share something that you're asking about. Because at the end, Howard.
Wait a minute. Who's supposed to ask about this? That's what I'm keeping.
The parent. The parent.
The parent's supposed to ask what?
You're supposed to ask what if a team is approaching you and telling you they have sponsorships, then ask them to itemize what is being sponsored.
Oh, they can ask what is being sponsored and what I have to pay. They can ask that. I want to know who's
sponsored. So you mean to tell me you're okay if you're the preacher and the dope man is sponsoring your son's program, and you've been an advocate of trying to clean up dope in your neighborhood, and he's sponsoring the program, and you have a right to know.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. The dope is bad. The money is good. The dope is bad, but the money is good. Money is just a tool you use. Money don't. Yeah, the money is good, man. You can. What they have is bad, God can turn it to good. Jimmy, it's several instances through the Bible where the wicked got all those riches, and guess what? They got taken away from them and gave it to somebody else. So they got the money wicked, but somebody else who's not as wicked got a chance to benefit from it. So guess what? The dope is bad, but the money is good. But Jimmy, what other question? Because we got a guest coming on in a minute.
Last question I have is, they say, how is it that AAU programs feel like they can take money for a season that was canceled and still feel entitled to keep the money?
Say it again.
How is it that AAU programs feel that they can take money for a season which was canceled and still feel entitled to keep the money? Meaning that a lot of parents pay dues, and why is that, on how or why that if the season was canceled or events was canceled and they did not return those dues? Guys, that has happened to a lot of people, and my solution to that is this: moving forward is present that question to the next person before you enter an agreement to let your kid play. What will happen if a pandemic or something transpires where the events is canceled? Do we get a refund? Do we not? If they are honest with you and tell you that you would not, then you have to accept that, and and that's how they're gonna rock. But these are good questions.
But Jimmy,
And
during
once
this
again,
pandemic, see, I don't know about that one. If I was a guy over the program, and I raised those funds in intent to have a season and use those monies to help the. Then if I'm not going to use them monies, if we're not going nowhere, you got to get them people that money back, man.
Man, a lot of people ain't got their bread back. They pay dues out there.
No, you got to get them people. You got to people their money.
A lot of parents did not get their money back from March, April, May, June, and that's big stuff,
Jimmy,
man.
What's their recourse? Before we bring our guests on, what's their recourse?
Well,
What's
I mean,
parent? Because he's talking about what can a parent do? Sue him? Go to small claims court?
Well, you can do that. That's an option.
Then you got to hire a lawyer.
Well, in small claims, you don't need a lawyer for small claims.
Well, you
got to be like
for
under
court costs.
Not in small claims. I think the fee is like. I mean, first of all, the amount that you go to is under a certain amount for the start with. I don't know. I think it's like $500 or something. It's under a certain amount, but that's an option. But then most people want to reserve the embarrassment of doing all that and the time, because by the time you spend that money, once again, like you're saying, the time plus the money and the effort spent, it's like, all the hell with it. And that's why so many parents don't know what to do. And that's why a lot of them send these emails and ask these questions. But once I said, my solution is moving forward. Even right now, if it has not happened to you, you present that question, ask them in writing, send them an email or a text message. That way you have the paper trail. Now, the smart ones ain't gonna reply to you. I say the smart ones, meaning the super slick ones. Put it like that. Not the smart ones. Strike that. The super slick program operators or coaches are not going to be likely to reply to your emails or text messages on such topics. They will pick up the phone and call you or meet you face to face.
They ain't gonna leave no paper trail. No
exactly.
paper trail.
So just be this, and once again, as you see it's happening, raise your antenna up, and guess what? You have an obligation to do what you want to do. That's your kid, your son. But then as each one of you can wake up another parent, and they wake up, eventually we will have a more consciously aware community instead of a bunch of zombies walking around thinking that they got it all mapped out and they know how it go, and next thing you know, they're getting beat left and right.
And these parents, a lot of these parents, because I know somebody don't say they don't lack to put the blame on the parent. I'm a parent, so guess what? I had control over anything that went wrong. I blame myself. I mean, guess what? If it went right, guess what? I credit myself. So yes, parent, it is your ultimate responsibility. You have the parents that's listening to this show and who got friends that listen to this show should never have that happen again. I gave you our email address yesterday. We got a special guest. Some of these questions are going to be answered with our guests in a few minutes. Let me tell you something. ChopShopHTX@gmail.com. If you feel that something is too good to be true, send us a text. Send us an email. And guess what? Hey, Perry Mason over there, he is gonna get to the bottom of it. I'm telling you. So that's Jimmy. That's all we can do, Jimmy. But we got to take a. You want to add something else before we take a break?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. We got to get to our guests, and I see a question in the YouTube page. And Melvin,
we're asking when the guests come on.
Yeah, do you get a refund if your son doesn't show up for a tournament?
Okay.
Ask that coach the question before the tournament. If you got to wait till after the tournament, it's probably not likely. Ask that coach the question. And that's the thing, guys.
Chop shop. We'll be back in a minute. We'll be back. It's good. I like that. I like that. It's good. Here we go.
We know what they do say. Tell us what they don't say.
They don't say.
They don't say you can play sports and keep a 4.0 GPA. They don't say you can go after academic scholarships. They don't say you can get your plumbing or printing license at the age of 16. They don't say you can become a lifeguard, learn CPR, and save lives. They don't say you can become your own CEO at the age of 18. When you're on the go, Dermatized hand sanitizer spray.
I like that. I like him. Hold up, Jimmy. I got one more dodo for you. Got one more dodo.
What's up, everybody? This is Dorian Branch with Dodo Knows. I have to start my segment off by saying I am that LeBron fan, and I really don't care what y'all have to say about it because I am that LeBron fan. I will be repping. The number 1 seed has been clinched. They said he couldn't do it outside of the East. He in the Back to the Atlanta Dream. Although I don't think that they're going to make the WNBA playoffs this season, they did have 2 players that opted out this season. 2 of their star players opt out this season for social justice reasons. I think that that's ultimately going to take a long-term effect on them because they are still kind of young. And at the end of the day, you need veterans to be able to make it in the WNBA to the playoffs and further into the playoffs. So I think that'll hurt them in the long run. Also, they just played the Phoenix Mercury yesterday with Diana Taurasi, who is a veteran, arguably the GOAT of the WNBA ever in history. She went off in the second half. Brittany Griner did what Brittany Griner does. And to go back to what we were talking about last week with players being together in the WNBA, that's a crazy story because Brittany Griner's ex-wife, who was on the Atlanta Dream, who they have twins together, they be beefed up, okay? But there was no issues yesterday in the game. Phoenix Mercury won. I still say it's Seattle at the end of the day right now, but there's some other teams that's still pushing. So y'all continue to support women, continue to support the WNBA. I hope that y'all enjoyed this today. See y'all next week.
Welcome back to the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks. The cheat sheet. He was giving us a whole lot of nuggets and how we can navigate. I think, Jimmy, we might have a part 5 to this because it's just something that's just ain't right. It's something that's left out there. But and guess what? Y'all had to play that Serena Williams video again. I got a longer version of it, but I didn't cue it up. And thanks to Chris Felix. I hope his wife watching. And I'm gonna tell her he the one ordered that. But let me tell y'all something, y'all. We got a special guest today, okay? That has, let me tell y'all something. He's been one of the top basketball players from my hometown. Matter of fact, as I was growing up, he was my hero. He was so great, Jimmy. You know, because I hear y'all talking about what's his name, Eddie Owens, and you know, and the guys like Dwight, you know, Jones, and all that. Daryl Braden from Memphis, Tennessee, was that to us. I mean, when he walked in the gym, all the hoopers out there, Jeffrey Day. When he walked in the gym, certain guys just left out the gym because they didn't want to get that thing put on them. I mean, I know some guys said, no, I ain't gonna play. So us young guys, we used to just sit there so we can watch. And I'll never forget one of my highlight moments. I don't know if I told him this. Jimmy, he came in there with some Nike, high top Nike swoosh, with they were purple, and he came in there with purple. And guess why they was purple? Jimmy he did a stint at the University of Texas TCU, the Horned Frogs. So, but let me give a little of his bio here, Jimmy. Darryl Braden, born in Memphis, Tennessee. He attended, check this out, one of the top players in the country now. He attended East Central Oklahoma, Carl Albert Junior College, Texas Christian University, and he also helped launch the program at the University of Alabama, Birmingham, with the late Gene Bartow and the late Larry Finch. Played professionally on every level, was in 3 NBA camps, Chicago Bulls, San Antonio Spurs, and a team, the New Jersey Nets, 2 years in the CBA, played with the Detroit Spirits and the Albuquerque Silvers, plus 10 years in Europe, South America, Mexico, went back to college to get his degree with a degree in philosophy in 2008, currently working as the gym director and a sports ministry at a church. Man, let me tell you something. The bio goes on and on and on. And he got a book out, y'all. This is why he's here today, and I wanted to bring him. He got a book out called The Identity Crisis. Doing all of this, being a top basketball player, one of the best basketball players come out of Memphis, and having all these accolades, he still has some demons he was fighting. And this book, it's called Identifying Crises, Finding the Strength Within My Struggle. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I'd like to bring on Darryl Braden. I got him in the picture right now. And Darryl, I got to give you your clap like we give everybody else. And make sure you got we give you your applause. And man, welcome to the Chop Shop, Doc. What's up?
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate
it.
Hey, it's definitely an honor, man, to be for you guys to allow me to be on y'all platform. I appreciate it.
Guess what I'd like to do, man? I'd like to just talk about let's talk about your book. What made you write this? What made you at this point in your life? What made you write a book?
Well, honestly, God gave me the vision for this book 10 years ago, and it's just been marinating in my head. And timing is everything. So during the pandemic, when my job was shut down, he gave me the opportunity to just sit and write. And I would write anywhere from 500 to 750 words a day. But the book is about my life's journey, and the reason I titled it an Identity Crisis is because for so long, I identified myself as a basketball player. Mm-hmm. And when basketball was taken away from me, that identity was crushed. And it left me in a place that was dark. And through my trials and tribulations, where I find the strength within my struggle, is that God delivered me from all those demons and showed me what my true purpose was, what my true identity was. And my identity was not basketball. It wasn't anything I did. My identity was in him, because the life he created me for and the life that he purposed me for had already been ordained. I just had to go through all these other things to get there. So right now I believe I'm on the right path. But the book talks about my career in sports. It talks about my drug addiction. It talks about my homelessness. It talks about my incarceration. And then it talks about how God delivered me, resurrected me, restored me, and redeemed me to the life I'm living right now.
Wow. Darryl, tell me, I look at your colleges, and I remember you told me something about, Darryl, you've been all over the world in colleges. You went to junior college, then another junior college, then TCU, but you told me you was a kid. You had a little knucklehead in you, and you got to understand.
I had a lot of knucklehead in me.
But Darryl, you was one of the most talented players that I ever seen. I told Penny the other day, you was the Greek freak before, because Penny called me and we was talking about it before you came on the show, and you went. Tell me, because there's some young kids out here. You got Jimmy Hicks, my co-host on the show here. Jimmy Hicks is the high school basketball guru in Houston, Texas. In other words, from 2000 up until now, 20 years, if you played basketball in Houston, Texas, he has covered, had you in his event, something he has touched you in the last 20 years. In a whole decade, he has touched your life, right? So he has came across a lot of guys that were in your position and messed it up. I just want, because there's some parents out here, they giving their all to this basketball. Their identity is in basketball. Some of these people who you wouldn't even know them if it wasn't for their son playing basketball or if they weren't involved with an AAU basketball team. So please, you told me you was a knucklehead. What you mean by knucklehead? Why did you go to all of these colleges? How could you leave TCU? What happened?
Well, let me tell you, first of all, my problem was being too talented and not humble enough.
Okay.
Because I was so good, I was very arrogant. And I think it rubbed people the wrong way. You know, and that what started the identity crisis, because you know, in my immature mind, I never envisioned a time when I wasn't going to be playing basketball. Because that's the problem right now, that these people, the mistake is not having a plan for after basketball. I tell my kids all the time, basketball comes with an expiration date. A college degree does not. You know, I don't watch a lot of basketball because you know, it's the game is so different now. You know, and then I did a survey on the parents that be at these games. You know, I played ball all my life. My mother saw me play 3 times my whole career, but she never missed a spelling bee. She never missed the essay contest. Anything educational and academically, she was there. She didn't care about my jump shot or who I dunked on. You know, her focus was what your grades like. And I think the focus has shifted, because I was listening to you guys talking about paying money for this and that. And when I was coming up, my parents couldn't afford no AAU or no personal trainer. I had to do all that on my own. I mean, but if you got to pay for a personal trainer to a kid who don't have enough gumption to go in the gym and work on his own to get better, then what are you paying for? I mean, parents will pay for personal trainers, but they won't pay for tutors. They'll pay for AAU, but they won't pay for ACT prep. I mean, come on. I mean, but this is my personal opinion. No. I'm not gonna get into that soapbox.
No.
You know, but talking about me, I transferred because I was a knucklehead. My book talks about all the mistakes I made because I based everything on my basketball ability, which was a big mistake. But the best thing that happened to me was my parents raised me. You know, the Bible talks about building your life on a solid foundation. You know what I mean? Because when the trials and tribulations of life come, if your life is not built on a solid foundation, the rock of Jesus Christ, when that storming, hey, look, it can be devastating. But because my life I survived all my bad choices, all my bad mistakes. And I'm right here now my book is hopefully would deter some parents, some athletes from making some of these bad decisions. I transferred not because I wasn't good.
Mm-hmm.
I transferred because I was a knucklehead. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just being candid.
Right.
I went to East Central and got kicked out of school out of the semester. They didn't want to kick me out, but they had to.
Why?
Well, to be honest,
yeah,
I stole the rug. I stole the rug.
How the hell you steal a rug, man?
Look, I'm gonna tell you, this is a true story. I was a freshman.
You can't get no money for a rug.
But I didn't steal it for that. I stole it to put it on my floor because every time I got out of my bed, my floor was cold. So I stole the rug out the gym to put it on my floor so I won't have to step on a cold floor.
Okay.
So when they discovered I stole the rug, they gave me two options. You can stay in school, but you can't play basketball. And I was like, nah, that ain't gonna work. So I left. But I was good enough that I was able to go to a junior college. And after I got to Carl Albert, my talent got to a level I could have went anywhere. And for some crazy reasons, I chose TCU. Being in all honesty, I should have went to the University of Houston. I should have played with Otis Birdsong. And that would have put my career. And to make a long story short, when we played Otis, then I gave him 39. He'll tell you.
I'm going to ask him, too.
Ask him about Big D. I gave him 39, 18, and 6. And that's 6 block shots, not assists.
Hey, you know what? Y'all are good friends now because I see y'all at some places sometime.
That's my guy.
Right. And that's right. You said you was going to come to University of Houston because of it.
That's why I should have went.
But Jimmy, you got a question? I know you got something for him.
Yeah. Now, of course, now I was reading that you mentioned earlier you overcame, of course, a recovering addict.
Right.
And I read somewhere where the reason that how you got on drugs or got addicted to drugs and was that you felt that your stardom had kind of failed or depleted a little bit. Kind of chime in and elaborate on the pressure, because so many people, our community, these young people and parents are watching. Their kids are so pressured to be this or live up to this, and wasn't near about as successful as you were, nor had your accolades on the back, all your talent. We're talking about fragments of you. And kids I've spoken with have been contemplating suicide, don't want to play anymore. We have a young man right now in the city, his father played in the NBA. And he's got so frustrated with the pressures, he said, to hell with basketball. I don't even want to play no more. It just got that. It's so. Share your scenario, that first time, and what brought you to that moment.
Well, first of all, let me say this. I've always got high. I envisioned a life where I would be smoking weed and drinking cognac sitting on my front porch when I was 60. You know, I had my first experience with cocaine the year I set out at UAB. All this is in the book.
Okay.
But I was so arrogant that I wouldn't do anything that would allow me not to perform at a high level. Mm-hmm. But the problem is where your focus is. Basketball should not be your main focus. Because what happens, like these kids, when they don't reach the level that they reach, mm-hmm. and then they start see, that's why I'm trying to implement a program where every college, every major university needs to employ a life skills coach. Somebody to help these kids navigate through college and help them devise a plan after their basketball careers are over. Because sometimes it happens to kids quicker than others. Some kids, after 4 years, the career's over. Some kids might go and play some professional ball. But sooner or later, your career is going to end in basketball. What do you do then? You know, the world is full of NBA players multimillionaires broke now because our kids don't know about financial literacy. You know, a lot of us we don't grow up with money. We don't have we don't know nothing about money. And then when we get a lot of money, because we don't have the proper guidance, then we make mistakes that could be not made if we had the proper guidance. You know, but for me, my crack addict, like I said, I always did drugs, man. But when I no longer had basketball, I had an insatiable hole that had to be filled. And because my identity was basketball, I no longer was a basketball player. Then the drugs just took over my life. And I started making a series of bad choices, which led me to be homeless, which led me to be incarcerated. But because of the foundation that my parents had established in my life at a young age, and that was, I give my kids every day what I call the formula for success. God first, education, and good character. With those three things, I mean, your survival rate and your success rate goes up pretty high. Because the Bible says if God is first in your life and you seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, then all things will be added to you. Education, because knowledge is power. No, education is the key to unlock any door to your future. And good character. The Bible says good character is better than silver and gold. You know, with those three things, if you instill them in a kid as a young age, then the chances are, even with the trials and tribulations that come, he'll be able to survive. Now, that's just my opinion.
It's good. Jimmy, you got something else?
And so now, when you got older and you decided to go and increase your spirituality, tell us about what motivated that.
Well, see, I was always raised in the church, so it wasn't the point of increasing my spirituality because I already had it. The thing was focusing on it because it was already in me. You know what I'm saying? So the same energy that I took into being this top-notch basketball player, I put it in Christ. And that's the end result. It's always been there. You know, it ain't nothing new. You know what I'm saying? Because from the time I was a child, my mother raised me in the church. I knew who God was. I just walked away from him because basketball became my idol. And God doesn't want us to have anything before him. That's what the word says. And see, that's the problem with these kids now. Basketball cannot be your idol. Basketball is just a tool to use to get you from point A to point B. That's all it is. Because sooner or later, you're going to be my age, 64 years old, and you can't play basketball. What do you do now?
And Big D, and one of the things when I'm interviewing and talking to parents of prospective NFL and NBA clients, that's one of the things I just tell them. I said, this is not, NFL means not for long. This sports is not, it's not going to be around. And what we should use it as an economic springboard for whatever else you want to do in your life. And I always, and they look at me crazy. I said, do me a favor. The successful, I've been in this business for 30 years. The ones that are successful, they treated that first contract like they weren't going to never get another one.
There you go.
They treated that first contract like they were never going to get another one. Because guess what, Big D? Most time you're not going to get another one. We keep looking at LeBron and Melo and all of them. No, but it's a lot of guys that them fell by the wayside we don't even talk about no more. You follow me? So, I wanted you to come on today, man, when you told me, y'all got to realize months ago he was telling me about this book. And I just said, as soon as you get the book ready, and you got to tell us how we can get the book, 2D. But you told me something about yesterday. You told me how you finish your education. It's some unique men help you along the way. because you didn't have the money. So it's some unique men and men that we know and this shows know, the people on our show know, they help you. You told me, for instance, when you first came home, you didn't have no clothes, but it's a guy. You got a closet full of NBA clothes and shoes now from a certain people. Those people don't know those stories because these guys ain't out publicizing that. They what Miss Trivia Dennis said, at random acts of kindness. So tell a little bit about these guys that help you through those situations.
Well, first of all, I believe when God ordains something in your life, he'll put the right people in your life for you to get from point A to point B.
Right.
So I'm just fresh out of prison, and I'm just fresh out of rehab, and I have no clothes. And because of a friend of mine, his association with this young guy in Memphis. When I first met him, he was in the 9th grade. And he used to come to the gym to watch us play. He was one of the only young guys that we would allow to play with the so-called big boys. Well, this guy, his career skyrocketed, and he achieved some levels and some things in basketball that no one in Memphis ever had. You know what I'm saying? And because of his association with a friend of mine, I was able to get a lot of hand-me-down clothes, but they not really handed. How can you get hand-me-downs from a millionaire? But I was able to get a lot of clothes from this guy, and he was very instrumental in me getting my college degree. When I went back to UAB, a program that I helped start, they refused to pay for my education. And not only by the grace of God, but the people that were in my life. At that time, Mike Davis was the head coach at UAB. And believe it or not, he paid for my education out of his pocket after the university refused to pay for it. He paid for me to go to school for 2 years out of his pocket because of the relationship we started when we were in college. He went to the University of Alabama. I went to UAB. So we became friends a long time ago. And when he became the head coach, see, that's how God do things. He orchestrates things. Who knew Mike was going to be the head coach at UAB? But he became the head coach at UAB, and he paid for my education out of his pocket. And this guy, this basketball player, I was going through some financial difficulties, and at this time, we were members of the same church. And I would see him every Sunday before I went to school. So one weekend I was home, and I just had this prayer that if he was at church, that I would present him with my request, and if it was God's will, he would grant it. And immediately after service, I talked to him. He went right to his truck, wrote me a check, got me through, and I went on to graduate and get my degree. I don't talk about that a lot. I don't mention his name because I don't think he would want me to mention his name.
Right.
But he knows who he is. It's in the book.
Yeah.
All that's in the book.
So tell us how we can get the book.
Well, if you want to copy my book, you can email me at darylbraden@yahoo.com, and I'll give you the information. You can purchase it through Cash App, or you can mail me a check in the mail, and I'll make sure you get the book. I got the book yesterday, and I've already sold over 100 copies.
Well, you got the book when?
Yesterday, about 2 o'clock.
That's a great thing, and how we can post that on the site so that they can see it on both platforms, and we can probably let it scroll, put it in the ticker or something. That way, people be able to get that and get his book.
What is it again?
And once again,
my email address is Daryl Braden, DARYL Braden, BRADEN @yahoo.com.
Gotcha.
And I think this book is a great read for athletes, middle school, high school, college, and parents. It's just my insight on my life and my experiences, and hopefully that ultimately the reader would be led to Christ. That's my hope.
Man, it's good stuff, man. Good stuff. We definitely appreciate it, and you keep fighting the good fight, and you're part of the MAM, and that's, you mentioned earlier. And what does that stand for again?
Well, I no longer work for that organization. And that's another story for a different time. Okay. I worked in an organization called Memphis Athletic Ministry for 16 years, and they fired me. But
you worked for after 16 years. 16
years. They let me go with that's in the book too. But anyway,
it wasn't no rug involved in it, was it?
I don't want to bash them. No, I'm a different person now, Jimmy.
I know it wasn't no rug involved.
I think it was a lot of jealousy involved. But
okay.
This kicker.
Yeah.
I never missed a paycheck because God, after that, allowed me to start a sports ministry at another church.
Awesome.
And I'm my own boss.
Have you connected with any of the grassroots programs that are active in the Memphis area as of late, or are you interested in doing so?
I don't do AAU. I have my own reasons for that because it's just something I don't do. You know, I don't do AAU. You know, I don't knock them, but I just don't do that.
Okay. All right. Well, man, hey guys, this is the Big D, Darrell Braden, Memphis living legend, sharing his part of his testimony with you guys, with us. And we appreciate you, Big D.
Thanks
so
fella.
much for coming on the Chop
Hey,
Shop.
man, thank you guys for having me on, man. I love you guys, man.
All right.
Thanks a bunch.
Hey, Bobby, your book is in the mail, man. You should get it Saturday.
I got you, baby.
There you go.
I got you.
There you go, man. Big D, guys.
Send me your information, man, and I'll send you one too.
I got it, man. We get you covered, man.
I got
you covered, man.
All right, baby.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks so much.
All right.
That is
wow.
Darrell Braden, guys. We go to a quick break and come right back and share with you, as promised, those rankings for Doug Jones and RCS Sports 2021. We come right back.
Well, you showed. Let me give me some. Yeah. Oh, okay. I got it.
We know what they do say. Tell us what they don't say.
They don't say. They don't say you can play sports and keep a 4.0 GPA. They don't say you can go after academic scholarships. They don't say you can get your plumbing or printing license at the age of 16. They don't say you can become a lifeguard, learn CPR, and save lives. They don't say you can become your own CEO at the age of 18. When you're on the go, Dermatized hand sanitizer spray.
Get hot! Screaming, stop the violence! Like when it's really gonna stop? More in the news got me feeling like deja vu. 3, 4, 5 more shot. Murder rate at an all-time high. KC is getting killed. The new way to die. It's a bastard. We slaughtering each other in the middle of the land. It's petty to be frivolous. Without a cause. No life insurance plan. Family setting up GoFundMe's to bury you, man. It's like we love to put your face on the shirt. Love to see our community hurt. Moms crying, aching with pain, holding the remains of her baby. It's a bicycle. When the violence gonna stop? Calling all big homies, cousins, uncles, and dads. Smack that youngin' upside the head and take his Glock. Lacy with knowledge, teach him the box.
Yeah.
Give him a hug, man. They missing her love, man. Graveyards and penitentiaries packed with young blacks. I stand on the front line to bring power, love, and unity back. Cause it's a massacre. Just marinate on that. I need you to feel this in the heart. Take it back home, dissect it, and play your part.
Yes, sir.
Mentor some, be a role model. Take them under your wing. Teach them the value of another human being.
Right.
This black on black is whack.
Whack.
If we kill us and they kill us, who we got? We ain't living long enough to see if black don't crack. It's a massacre. An attack on black. We so brainwashed with material things, it's hard for us to see that we are kings and queens.
Yeah.
The original beings.
Yeah.
The mathematics of everything. It's a massacre. When the violence gonna stop?
Right now. One.
Welcome back to the Chop Shop, your midday sports happy hour, the best 120 minutes of your day. Great convo with the Big D, Darryl Braden. And you guys make sure if you're interested in his book. And it's always great to hear those types of roads to redemption and recoveries as well. And he's, the email is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. And so what we're going to do, as promised, Doug Jones has been releasing the rankings that are published on RCS Sports all week. And he started out with the watch list for the class of 2023. Then on Tuesday was the class of 2022. And he has just, he's going to release this afternoon the class of 2021, which is the rising 12th graders, right? The seniors to be. So what I have from Doug, I'm doing something different. I guess it's kind of interesting on my end, kind of putting me in Robert Hatter mode as I'm. So I'm updating the list that Doug Jones has sent to me right here. And I printed the email right before the show. That Doug was so secretive with these rankings. I did not get the email until 11:50 So I haven't even went through it. 11:53. We go on the air at 12.
Hold up. Now I understand what you mean by Robert Hattermo. Because Jimmy do me like that all the time. So keep going.
So what I'm doing is, in an effort to I guess help you guys out, because we're not going to release the list that he has goes into the 60, right? And I'm not about to call out 60 names. As I've told you guys, I'll tell you about the top 25 or the top 20.
Yeah, that's all. That's all.
And what I did was I typed in, as I spoke with you guys, I typed in 25. I just made active on the website, RCS Sports. 24 is on there. How you can open up a separate screen to let me know if I'm actually executing this as I think I am. Whereas you guys should be able to see right now, number 25 upward to number 20 should be live on rcsports.com right now. Meaning that you go to RCS Sports and you click on open up a separate screen. You have them side by side. You're watching the Chop Shop. Then you open up another screen, drag it over, and you have two side by side. Now you can still maneuver. You go to RCS Sports.
You got to be in Google Chrome, though, Jimmy. You can't do it anything. You got to be in Chrome to do that, because you tried to get me to do that one time.
No, I'm not in Google Chrome, and I'm doing it. I'm doing it in Safari. Yeah. Now Google Chrome makes it much easier to do it, but in Safari, you have to get a tab and just drag the tab over. You have to shrink the screen first. If you're in Safari, shrink it, then grab it and drag it over. You have two miniature screens side by side, and you go to click on rankings, then 2021, and you should see, once again, it should be active. And who you see those 25, are they populated, or did I get it wrong?
Hold up, man. I'm doing. Oh, so you don't have to. I don't have to sign in. It ain't
No.
VIP.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay. All right.
No.
So what ranking
No.
I want?
You don't need no. You need
What year I want? What year?
class of 2021.
Oh, 21. Okay. Hold up.
These are the rising seniors.
I hit the wrong one. Oh, so that's what we're gonna talk about today. 21.
Yes.
Jimmy, I
2021.
want to try something, Jimmy. I can't. I ain't gonna do it today. I was gonna try to see, can I screen share it?
Try it and see.
Let's
if you
see.
could do that, then we'll be really in business.
Hold on. Let me see. Hey, y'all, we trying
And so
something
as
right
you
quick.
talk, I will
Okay.
give you guys.
All right.
I will go back to the bottom and share with you number 25. Number
Okay.
25 is one. Understand this. This encompasses all Greater Houston, right?
Uh-huh.
And in Greater Houston, the area basketball, boys basketball. So of the top 25, the way it looks, there are only 2 white kids mentioned that's listed in the top 25.
Uh-huh.
It starts off at number 25 with one of the 2. And he's from Katy Taylor High School. He's about 6'1". He's recognized and identified as one of the most respected perimeter shooters in the area. This young man name is Jake Arnold. Jake Arnold is number 25 on, according to Doug Jones. This list will be populated as we talk, but only starting with number 25. It should be on the website right now. As how does and
I'm trying.
He's in the back. Really show you.
I like messing with this. Come on. Oh, there we go. Look at you.
Number 24 is Brandon Love from Bush High School. He's 6'9", and Brandon Love has emerged on the scene, and and Doug has rewarded him, and he's risen to number 24. Number 23 is Mason McBride from Manville High School. Remember on Monday, Hatter, we had Drew Parker Jr. and Kevin Perkins were on the Chop Shop from the Team Imperial. This is that guy the kid who won MVP and who's their most recruitable athlete in that program. He's been rewarded with a top 25 listing. And of course, as you see on the screen right there, as you guys see now, we can push on forward. There you go, Hatter. See you grooving now. Number 22, AJ Ferguson from Cy Park High School, and he's at number 22. AJ Ferguson has been doing well this summer, and guess what? Doug Jones has rewarded him with a number 22 ranking. Number 21, Patrick Punch from Eisenhower High School.
Okay.
Patrick Punch has been on varsity since a 9th grade season at Eisenhower, and he's one of the prides and joys of Coach Johnson in that program. Number 20, PJ Neal, who's had a very impressive summer to me, and over at Legacy High School. Remember, he used to go to Reagan, which turned into the Heights, transferred over to Legacy 2 years ago, and he has really been steady and consistent and impressive as well this summer. That's number 20.
Jim,
on the number 9.
How I find it?
No, all you gotta do is refresh, Hal. Just refresh.
Oh, refresh? Look
Refresh.
at you.
So after every name. So now every name I call. Wait a minute. Wait. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh. I know.
Now refresh. Now refresh.
All right. Okay. All right.
Now
Okay. You got me working over here. Keep going.
Now we're good. So now you see as you refresh, number 19 comes on the screen, and number 19. Wait. I got this wrong.
Okay.
I got this wrong.
What you need me to do?
Hold on. Don't refresh. You guys, we're both. This stuff is really kind of fun doing this. I'm not gonna lie to you. Hold on, Hal. Hold on before you refresh. Hold on, 1 second, guys. And these are the 2021 rankings, the RCS Sports, and they're comprised by Doug Jones. And one thing about it is this is Doug Jones. I normally take the seniors once going into the magazine rankings, and I take full throttle of the seniors. Next ranking on the seniors, I give 0 input on this list. So now you can refresh right now, Hatter, and we'll go with number 19 and number 18 collectively on the screen. And you guys can see number 19 and 18 are a pair of guards Will Young and Noah Khan.
Oh, okay. So Will.
From
Okay, you
Chapel
got
High School. And Noah Khan is from Houston Christian School. They're number 18 and 19 in the area, respectively.
Okay.
So now, hold on. As I talked about them a little bit, Noah Khan, he plays for the Houston Defenders team, and Noah. I really like Noah. One thing about him, every time we've had like a season opener, right, or the Hoops Giving Classic, this kid, he stuffs the stat sheet. A 30 ball here, a 25. Monster games under all of the bright lights for this young man. And the real thing about it, I love watching him play because he wants to bring it to you. So now, Howard, you can refresh and we go to number 17. And number 17 now will come on your screen in just a second.
There you.
And that is Sean Walker from Manville High School.
He's been putting in a little work.
2 Manville players in the top 20 in the area. And so that means we should be expecting big things from Manville High School. And one of the things I really, really, really like Sean Walker. He plays with the Nike Pro Skills out of Dallas. That's his primary program. And of course, on a fragmented season, so he's not playing in EYBL.
Right.
But this kid, he's a load on the block. Now you can refresh it again, Howard. We'll go to number 16, and number 16, without further ado, is a player who has really came along. At first, he kind of had a little turbulence for us when he transferred, but guess what? He's reliable in a role. He's that role guy that can help you get some wins and gonna do a lot of the Eddie Jones type work. Remember the former Lakers star with the program. And that's Chris Felix is his name. He's at Westbury Christian School. And this kid, Chris Felix, he's about 6'4", and he's Mr. Mid-Range. That's what I call him. A lot of things he do in the mid-range. You can refresh and we go to number 15 now, Adam. And we're going. These rankings are on rcssports.com. They're being posted live as we're talking.
I got a question, Jimmy, right quick. Why this young fella, the next guy, don't have a picture?
The one that's what number?
Number 15.
Well, and that's a good question. Great question. If you don't have a photo, that means that either two things. Either you guys, if you know the person, you feel free to email one to us, or we would get a updated photo during Rucker on Wood. That's the Open Gym series that takes place at the August the 23rd and August the 30th. So that would be held, of course, in Houston. We don't normally publicize the location for Rucker on Wood, but for crowd control purposes, we don't need people come walking up and kind of trying to fabricate like they got invites and didn't get invites. Now, you can go to number 14 on that list, and you can refresh. Number 14 is DJ Richards.
I like him.
DJ Richards is from Side Creek High School, and he is a 6'4" wing guard. He can really, really fill it up. I mean, he's impressive. This kid he's mannerable. He's always, when I see him, he's never frowned. He's always kind of like in this neutral to positive mode. But most importantly, he has returned to his old ways. He played varsity in 9th grade, Howard. I remember my first time I saw him play, they were at Jersey Village High School, right? And he played at Side Creek. He was at Jersey Village, and this dude hit about 6 threes in that one game. And I went back and talked about him on a TV show on High School Sports Zone alongside Todd Free, and let him know, hey man, this dude right here, I'm liking what I'm seeing. And so ever since then, the shots kind of leveled off, but now in this summer, this dude is back. He's back. DJ Richard is back. Now we can refresh and go to number 13. And on the list, number 13, we go back out to a young man who is one of the 5 class of 2021 transfers into Legacy, the School of Sports Science, and that is Aaron Scott. Aaron Scott transferred from Klein Oak High School, and now he is number 13 in the list of the Greater Houston players, or top players, that is, in the class of 2021. I like Aaron long, and he plays long, and his best basketball is ahead of him. Believe that, this young man. So now that leaves us going towards, you can refresh again, Hatter.
Okay.
And we'll go to, let's see.
Elijah Lawrence?
Yeah, number 12, and that is Elijah Lawrence.
I haven't seen him play. I can't wait to see him play.
Elijah Lawrence is number 12, and I'm going in this thing, and we're going upwards from number 25 to number 1. He's a guard at Bel Air High School. He's the quickest with the ball in his hands in the area. And that means, see, for college coaches, when you can advance that ball quickly as he can with it under control, then that means shot clock at the college level is starting with more time to run through more options in that offensive set. So
and if
he can
he's that quick with the ball, he should be quick defensively also.
And that as well. And so, and you know, he's small, but he's productive, and you can win with them. He's not tiny. He's right around the 6 foot range now.
Okay.
But Elijah Lawrence is a kid that is definitely very intriguing and has had a great spring and summer, I would say. So as we get ready now, we don't update yet. We're at number 11 now, right? So as we get to number 11, we go back over to Legacy, the school. You can hit it now, School of Sports Science, and we have our next young man, and he's number 11. We have Jonathan Massey. Jonathan Massey, and he's a kid that transferred from St. Thomas High School a year ago, and you guys may remember him at St. Thomas, and he has been doing well this summer, spring and summer. So he's at Legacy. This kid, Jonathan Massey, he's being rewarded with a high rank, and we're going to see now, because everybody, just because you get ranked high, all eyes are on you now to perform and to live up to that. You can refresh it now. We can go to the next. Now we're in the top 10, guys.
Okay.
At number 10, we go over to Yates High School, and that is Chooks Istatua.
Oh, yeah.
And is the big fella over at Yates. He's still a bit raw around the edges, but at the same time, he's one of our most recruitable forces on the interior in Greater Houston. So that's the thing. And the college coach see that frame, and different people will say, different coaches, they look at him and say, man, I know I can get it done with this young man. So now we can refresh how to go to number 9, and that is Griffin Datcher. And Griffin Datcher, how about this? He was at Oak Ridge last year. I'm looking, Doug Jones has the Woodlands Christian as his high school. So could that be a breaking news for a transfer, or it could be a misprint? We're going to see Griffin Datcher. If he's gone to the Woodlands Christian this year, then that team was already going to be pretty good. But now they got the piece that's the missing piece for them possibly getting back to the state tournament and making big noise. And so now also you can refresh how do we go to number 8. And number 8 is another kid who's transferred. And that's one of the things we'll talk about on Monday. And this kid transferred, not this season, but last year, from Crosby to Atascocita, where he was named district MVP, Caleb Stewart. Caleb Stewart has had a pretty good grassroots summer as well.
Yes.
And he's been rewarded, as you can see, with a number 8 ranking in the area. And one thing about Caleb Stewart, he can operate from different parts around the court and get things done. Like what I see in him, and is once again, matter of fact, Doug Jones, we mentioned some offers that he just picked up at the Division I level in today's VIP news.
He can play.
So now you go now, updated how do we go to number 7, and number 7. These are the Greater Houston rankings. And number 7, we have.
Hold up, Jimmy. It's taking a little long. Number 7, you must have been doing something over there. and number 7 taking a little longer than it used to be.
I'm playing the piccolo over here.
And I got a super fast computer. Ain't this crazy? I'm gonna try it one more time. Let me see. Yeah. Oh, what the hell you doing? Oh boy. It's just taking a while. Just go and tell it, Jimmy. Just go and tell it.
It hadn't refreshed?
No, it hadn't refreshed.
Really?
No.
Well, that's good because now I'm updating a couple of them for you. That way, when you come on, once you refresh,
it just did. It just did. So it was doing a little more than it's supposed to do. It didn't went all the way up to 5.
Here we go. So as you guys see, Ashton Smith, he transferred from Nimitz High School to Legacy. So that's another kid from Legacy in the top 25. Okay. And Ashton Smith is about 6'9", and he's been one thing. I'm hard on players that are ranked in the top 10, and that's the thing. Once you get into that plateau, then expectations change. So that's why you guys, it comes with a different degree of expectations when you're top 10. That means you're on the front row of the city. And so it comes with it. So that means for all of the boasting and the marketing and the hype that came from different angles before a player earned that the old-fashioned way is how it's supposed to go, then that means now expectations rise as well. So Ashton, he's been playing well. He's been playing okay. He's been playing not good on some days, but for the most part, when college coaches look at him,
I like him
as a prospect. They like they love the frame.
Yes.
Right? And a lot of schools are recruiting him not to come in as an impact player. They're recruiting him as a year away, maybe a red shirt player. Remember the rule on red shirts. We told you college coaches have admitted it over and over on the Chop Shop. If they red shirt you, that mean they like you. So now we go to number 6, and that is Javon Jackson, right? And he's at Summer Creek High School. He's been starring with that RL9 program all summer. And Doug reminded me, I don't think this team has lost a game this summer. What? I said again, I'm not sure that RL9 has lost a game the entire summer.
Who coaches that team?
Who's the coach? Oh, the two twins. The two twins are down there on the team. Yeah. And so they're great job with RL9, and of course they're rewarded with a player in Javon Jackson. His father is the head coach, is recently named the head coach at C.E. King High School, which is in the same district, ironically. Now, as we go, number 5 is the second of the white kids that I told you, only 2 in the top 25, and that is R.J. Keene. R.J. Keene is number 5 in the area, and this young man has recently committed to Boise State just last week. He committed to Boise State, got it out the way, and which is a smart move, because if you think you feel that you know where you want to go, then why play around with these other colleges, especially knowing that you cannot go and do any campus visits right now. Get it out the way. You got till the second Wednesday in November to sign. So now you can refresh now. How do we get number 4 and number 3?
Let me see what you done. Let me see. Oh, okay. Oh, you didn't mess around that time.
Number 3 are a pair of wings, and that are still in progress. They have not reached their peak, but guess what? 2 very intriguing prospects, and one has not played for the most part of the summer, and that's Josh. And that would be number 3. But first and foremost, Sir Isaac Heron is the kid from Lamar High School. He has indeed played most of the summer, played with a few teams, and nothing is wrong with that at all. And Sir Isaac,
I got a question. Where were these 2 guys ranked in the last ranking period?
I think they were right. They were probably a step, maybe 4 and 5. So they both came up a spot.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So they both came up a spot. If I'm not mistaken, I think I'm looking at the list from Doug had before. They were number 4 and number 5, respectively, in the Great Eastern area. And so, but Sir Isaac, guess what? They both are going. Sir Isaac probably now has an advantage on his recruiting because he's been, people see him, coaches see him in the gym. He's playing, you know what I'm saying, every other weekend, if not every weekend, that is. So those are number 3 and number 2. So now, Hatter, with that being said, you can feel free to refresh your screen and go and update it. Now we have number 2 and number 1. And these are Doug Jones. Doug sent this list to me 7 minutes before we were set to go on the air. And these are number 2, Ramon Walker. He's committed to University of Houston from Shadow Creek High School. And he's was very impressed of him, not just he hasn't played much during the summer ball because, well, he's played with Texas Hard Work and they haven't had many events. But we remember him from the regional tournament in Summer Creek, and Shadow Creek, that is, when they were eliminated by Hightower, but they won that game in the semifinals, which Ramon went off for about 4 or 5 threes in that game. So there we have 5. Doug will finish populating later. I mean, today.
First time I ever did that, Jimmy. I like that.
Yeah, we did that. We made that pop. I mean, I understand this was no practice.
You ain't practice this, yeah.
The next time I do it, I know how to, I will roll the thing faster.
Now I see why it was taking long to populate, Jimmy, because you did 2 or 3 of them at the same time. I guess it was waiting on all of that information to come up. So I was good though. I like that. And
of course on they say on the screen, somebody says on their side is showing Griffin Thatcher.
Yeah, you remember you said Doug got breaking news about the kid transferring, but you had Oak Ridge still up on the thing.
Yes, and I see that because I'm reading the paper that Doug sent me. Yeah. It has one school, and I'm texting Doug right now.
Okay.
And to get the verdict in, and of course Jeffrey Day is on the feed right now. Jeffrey Day, I admit I wasn't reading none of the boom boom room as I was going through that stuff. If anybody can confirm if Griffin Thatcher is still Oak Ridge or is he Woodlands Christian? And that's because I want to know which one of these is an error.
I love this one. I didn't know she was watching. Akisa said, "Could you please update my son's height, Doug?"
And that's Doug. Say it again, Keisha, so Doug can get this stuff right.
How tall is he, Keisha? I don't know. How tall is he? How tall is he? Put his height up there, and I'll make sure Doug get it. How tall is he, y'all?
What's his height?
Jimmy, what about, they on a 10-second delay. She probably typing it now. But
yeah, you're right.
Jimmy, he was, Jeffrey, they say he was at TWCA. What the hell is that?
The Woodlands Christian. So that's where he is.
Oh,
so
he is okay. And then Chris Felix said he's not going. Boy, I love this. Chris Felix said he's not going there. Oh, he said, excuse me, the man that grew 3 inches. Doug, let me call Doug.
Wait a minute. So wait a minute. We need to find out what's true. Chris Felix say he's not going to Woodlands Christian, and Jeffrey Day say he's at the Woodlands Christian.
But guess what,
which
Jimmy?
one is it?
I ain't worried about them. Akisa just put how tall her son is, and Doug, he's 6'3", and don't you put no 6 foot on there no more. That's a big difference, Doug.
Yeah, that's a big difference, Doug. You know what? I'm gonna help Doug out. I'm gonna correct him for him because I know he's in the doctor's office right now, and he's just sick. So I'm gonna correct and help it out. Thank you, Mom.
Thank you, Mom.
That's all it takes, guys. When you help with correction, if you see a kid on there,
hold on, Jimmy. No. Jimmy, you think we should believe the mama or wait on the coach? Cause the mama might bump it up an inch.
Well, right now I'm gonna wait.
I know she's gonna get me on that one. I know she gonna get me on. Hey, Jimmy.
So hold on. Wait a minute.
Chris Felix said he talked to the mom yesterday. Of Griffin.
And Doug said he talked to the high school, the high school coach on yesterday. And so So we're gonna see over the weekend what's gonna happen with Griffin Datt. See, one thing about it, all that sneak move, you can't. One thing about the Chop Shop gonna cut the light on you guys. But we love it, man. It is definitely all good.
Crazy.
And we thank so much. Can you share the show, guys? This thing here, it may be a good way on how we probably can start releasing some of these rankings, maybe the top 10, a little bit fragmented version in the future, because it was kind of cool how that was done. And share the show, guys. But we got to get up out of here. Yeah. I got a barber's appointment, and I'm banking on my barber to be running behind, as he always does over at Current Cuts. When I get up in there for an appointment, I got to wait 5, 10, or 15 more minutes. So I'm going to bank on that. Hopefully this ain't the one. Matter of fact, don't forget, guys, starting next week, we'll be taking advertisements for the magazine. I got the ad letters, so you can send an email for the magazine. If you have a small business, or if you're at a company and you want your business advertised in the nation's largest high school basketball publication, you send an email, send it to chopshop at chopshophtx@gmail.com. chopshophtx@gmail.com is the website. It's the email address.
Did you see what Rod Wells said?
No.
He said the Legacy School of Sports Science had 5 in the top 25.
That's about right.
Wow.
That's about right. Remember, I told you. So that means Hannah. Remember when I talked to PJ?
They got to win. They got to win now.
Got to win.
Oh my God.
See what I'm saying? You got to win.
Yeah.
And that's, you put that pressure on yourself now. And that's a good headache to have.
And Westbrook ain't playing tonight. So Westbrook ain't playing tonight. I guess we rested, because guess what? We don't need no win. Thank you, J.J. Jackson. Let's rest James. See, James ain't gonna never rest. James, if it's a basketball being played, James Harden gonna play, man. He need to sit down too. But guess what about huh?
Yeah, we gotta land this plane. It is that time. And that's the thing. And parents, as Barry McDonald says, don't pay any scammers this weekend. Do your research. Yeah. That's all, man. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. And I can't wait, because as Hannah said, we will continue on Monday this conversation, because from now I'm realizing this conversation has to be revisited almost every other day to keep people understanding what's going on. This is not just add water. It is so bad out there. And a lot of people understand, and I really understand your plights with your kids, but there used to be a time when only first place got medals, got awards. Used to be a time you didn't get nothing for making consolation. There used to be a time when either you won your pool and the rest of you guys you didn't win your pool, you went home.
Right.
That was a time.
Right.
So what did those other kids still got to college? Yeah. They still kept playing.
That's a good point.
So what do you think? So now it's the new norm, I understand. But guess what? Life was going on before these kids came along. There was a time when there wasn't 10, 20 people covering the city of Houston, Texas. And kids still got scholarships at a more so rate than they do now on the Division I level.
So is it what you saying? If they can play, they're gonna be all right, especially here in Houston. If they can play, you're gonna be all right. Now, if you can't play, what we tell the people who can't play?
They got a circuit for them. Go over to prime time. That might be the circuit you can go and get that in at. Prime time was going on before this other stuff. They go over and play over there. They got a prime time circuit.
Yeah.
Every circuit ain't for everybody. That's what everybody thinking that they one step away from being a sneaker kid. No, you ain't.
That's a good point.
I guarantee if you stop paying your dues, I promise you those coaches start telling you the truth. Remember that. If you stop paying your dues, your fees.
Now they're gonna be off the team.
They would remember, there's always that scholarship player that can't pay the dues, and they still gonna find a way to put him on. If you stop paying your dues, that coach gonna let you know how valuable you really are to that team. Chop shop. It's time to get up out of here. On behalf of Robert Howard, I'm Jim
I'm
Hicks.
out,
See
man.
you guys, man, on Monday. Peace. We up out of here.
Jim Hicks, Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop